So my name is Jenna Randall. I will be co-presenting with Shelby. So we'll just kind of introduce ourselves here first. My name is Jenna. I work in the Office of Adult Learning at Wichita State University. And Shelby, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself as well.
Yeah, hi, I'm Shelby. My last name is listed both as Smith and Berry in various places because I am in the process of going through a name change. So if you're trying to reach me, either one of those, it still comes to me. But I am the Shocker Pathway Advisor at WSU Tech. So I would be able to go over the program and get you set up, with a plan to how to transfer over to WSU.
Thank you, Shelby. One thing I forgot to mention is for Shocker Pathway students who are transferring from WSU Tech to Wichita State University, I will be your contact person as you are getting ready to make that transfer through your first semester here at the university. So just a quick overview of the session. We'll discuss what the partnership between Wichita State University and WSU Tech looks like, focusing on the Shocker Pathway itself. We'll also touch on differences between the Shocker Pathway program and the Shocker Experience program. Those names are pretty similar, so we want to make sure we help students know what the difference between those is. So we'll go through that information here. So just to kind of give you some overview on what the WSU Tech Wichita State University affiliation was going forward. In summer of 2018, then Wichita Area Technical College officially became Wichita State University Campus of Applied Science and Technology, or WSU Tech. The affiliation marked a renewed focus on degree pathways to help students earn academic credentials, all the way from a GED completion through doctorate degrees like PhD programs. Specific programs like the Shocker Pathway and 2+2 programs, as well as the Shocker Experience, help those two institutions promote the goal. In addition to those programs, the affiliation allowed for shared spaces like the Harry and Oliver or WSU Tech South location and the Old Town locations, among others. It is also provided for a seamless bookstore experience through Wichita State Shocker Store, as well as providing counseling and prevention services, or CAPS, for all Wichita State and WSU Tech students. So as far as the Shocker Pathway goes, it was actually founded before the official affiliation happened, which is going to be our focus of today's session. The Shocker Pathway was founded in the spring of 2015 as a general education partnership between, again, then Wichita Area Technical College and WSU. The partnership provides students with an open admission option to complete the Associate of Arts, or AA degree, awarded by WSU. The AA degree is a great stepping stone into any of the bachelor's degree programs that Wichita State offers, or a bachelor's degree program at another university. About 90% of students in the Shocker Pathway say that they intend to complete a bachelor's degree after completion of their associates. If you are interested in the program and you have not yet, make sure you meet with Shelby so you can declare Shocker Pathway while you're at WSU Tech. So then we're going to kind of talk about the Associate of Arts degree requirements. And Shelby, feel free to jump in if there's something that I'm missing too. I know we've done this before, but sometimes some of the things. So the Associate of Arts degree is a 60 credit hour general associate's degree program. Within those 60 hours, students have to earn 15 credits at Wichita State University and 48 hours in liberal arts and science classes. This means that students complete most of their credits through WSU Tech to earn that associate's degree that is awarded by Wichita State University. As part of that, you also have to complete a general education requirement. And then there are a few options for that. So if you have questions about what those specific requirements are, Shelby is going to be your person to kind of help walk you through those individualized plans. So then this talks a little bit about the general education policy. We went under a pretty big overhaul with the current catalog, the 2020-2021 academic school year. And it will pretty much stay the same going into our new catalog in the fall. But the general education policy at Wichita State is divided into these three categories. Your foundations classes, divisional classes, and then something called additional general education requirements. The foundation classes are very traditional: composition 1 and 2, public speaking, and then a math requirement that can be satisfied by college algebra, a class called contemporary math, college trigonometry, or calculus 1. So that's kind of your first chunk of those foundation courses. The next chunk is your divisional courses. That includes one class in fine arts, one class in humanities, one class in social and behavioral sciences, and one class in math and natural science beyond that foundation class. And then the last chunk is called your additional gen ed requirements. So this piece requires 4 more classes from at least 2 different divisions. So and those divisions are the ones that are listed in that middle section there. Out of those 12 credits, 9 of those have to be upper division. Usually an upper division class is something like developmental psychology, environmental biology, interpersonal communication, just to name a couple of those. Depending on what your end goal is, you will have different classes that you want to take to fulfill these. So if you have a specific end goal and aren't sure which gen eds to take to work towards that, every major is going to look at something different to fulfill that. And Shelby is your contact person if you have questions about how to fulfill those while at WSU Tech. We work really closely together to make sure all of that information is readily available for you. So then we're going to kind of split this one up and talk about what to take at WSU Tech and then what to take at Wichita State. Shelby, do you want to talk about what to take on your side?
Sure. Yeah. So like Jenna had just covered in the previous slide, there are a couple of different kind of areas of courses that we would expect for you to be completing while you're at WSU Tech. As you can see on the current slide, those are going to be those foundation courses, divisional courses, and then some of those major courses. So for instance, if you're doing business, you're going to need to do some business courses, whereas someone who's doing nursing won't need those. So that's where it gets really important to meet with your advisor to make sure you're in the correct courses. These classes primarily are going to be kind of the introductory courses that will kind of lay that ground floor for to build everything else that you are going to be learning. These will, some of those will be those upper division courses that she mentioned, like developmental psychology. So those will build upon the knowledge you earn in the introductory course. But primarily, you will be getting into your major courses once you transfer to WSU. And then if there's anything else, I'm happy to go over it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Shelby. So then when you transfer to Wichita State, you have to have those at least 15 credit hours to finish the Associate of Arts degree. The specific number is going to be dependent upon what you've taken at WSU Tech. If you have other transfer courses to meet those 60 hours and meet the other requirements for that associate's degree. But there's that 15-hour residency requirement at Wichita State University. And those 15 hours are going to be super dependent upon what your end goal is. Whether that's the associate's degree, whether it's an associate's degree with us and then transferring to another university, or if that's finishing the associates and then going on for your bachelor's degree with us. So it is super important that you're talking with an advisor every single semester to choose classes that way you have the path of least resistance to your intended major. If a student has not completed their general education courses, they will do that as part of their 15 hours at Wichita State. Other options can include major exploration or career exploration classwork. We have a class called LASI 150D that allows students to explore in-depth major and career options. Students can also begin their major specific classes for, let's say, someone that's intending to complete a Bachelor of Business Administration. You may take business specific classes like business calculus or marketing or accounting classes. Sorry, and our pictures are over my notes here. So depending on what that might be, or if you're interested in health field, it might be a class like pharmacology that we fit into those 15 credit hours. So it is super dependent upon what that end goal is. Or if you're not sure what your end goal is, it is really flexible and allows you to explore, which is really awesome. So then we're going to kind of go over how advising works. At WSU Tech, you're really used to having that one person that you go to, and that's your person. We get a little bit more complicated once you get over to Wichita State. So while at WSU Tech, you'll meet with your WSU Tech advisor at the South location, which is Shelby. During that time, you're welcome to take part in our dual advising through my office and the academic colleges here at Wichita State University. The best way to do that is just to contact me directly, and then we'll make sure we get that set up for you. And then the advising process at Wichita State can get a little confusing. To help with that, your initial advising appointment will be with me through the Office of Adult Learning. And I will be your advisor for your transition into the university. So what that means is your first enrollment appointment at Wichita State is called a Shocker Connection appointment. That is something that you'll do with me. And we talk about enrollment, we talk about navigation. It's usually an 1.5 to 2 hour appointment, depending on what questions you have. And then that kind of helps ease that transition to Wichita State. We do require appointments. That way we make sure we have enough time to address all of your questions. And then you'll have a second advising appointment during your first semester, about a month to a month and a half in. That is a check-in, just so we can just talk about how things are going, if you're running into any issues, if there's any questions that you have. During that appointment, we also talk about how to schedule your advising appointment with your college academic advising center. So there are 7 academic colleges here at the university. Every academic college has an advising center for their majors. So again, back to the example of business majors. I meet with that student for their first semester enrollment appointment here at Wichita State. We meet one more time, and then we kind of hand you off to the business specific advisor. Most majors also have faculty advising. So that's another person on your team to help make sure you're getting everything that you need. You're connecting with all of the resources you need to kind of wrap around and make sure you are fully supported in your time here at Wichita State. Is there anything you want to add to that, Shelby?
I had to unmute. I think that pretty much covers it. Of course, if there are any questions, more than happy to answer any of those. I'll just kind of mention as far as the WSU Tech advising, it is possible. Of course, I do recommend meeting with me. I am the primary Shocker Pathway advisor. There is another advisor named Mika who is able to assist. So if you can't get with me, don't feel like you can't enroll. We will work with you to make sure that we get you all set up. So just reach out if you have any questions or concerns.
Yes, thank you. And we will put our contact information up towards the end of the presentation as well. Maybe. Sorry, I clicked off of things and now. There we go. So as far as resources for Shocker Pathway students, we've talked a little bit about advising resources. We also have this really cool tool called the Transfer Gateway. If you're interested in looking at how your classes transfer, whether from WSU Tech or any other college, you can use this website here, and you can set up a profile and look at how classes are going to transfer into, I think it's up to 4 different majors. So that's a really great tool for students who are exploring, or if you have transfer work from another college and you're not sure what it's going to count towards, that is a great tool for students to use and explore. We also have this transition course, and for students who are the semester before they intend to enroll at Wichita State, that is available. It's free, it's online, and Shelby and I facilitate that through WSU Tech Blackboard. It's going to give you step-by-step directions on how to transfer to Wichita State and hopefully meet deadlines for scholarships and financial aid, as well as enrollment deadlines and those types of things. We also have a Shocker Pathway organization through WSU Tech Blackboard. That org provides valuable information about Shocker Pathway, including how to sign up and important policies. That is something that we'll probably be revisiting and hoping to build out a little bit more over the next year. The pandemic was kind of fun and that kind of fell towards the back burner. But I hope to have a renewed focus on keeping that guy up to date going forward. And then we also have over 100 model academic plans to help you fit your WSU Tech courses into your end goal at Wichita State. So those are by each and every major, and those are available through your advisor there at Tech. And I also believe they're on the Shocker Pathway website at WSU Tech as well. So if you ever have questions about what the requirements are, let's say you are trying to decide between elementary education and history as possible majors. You can kind of look and see what's going to be required for you at Wichita State. They also have the required classes for WSU Tech in there, so you can see exactly how those are going to fill in and what classes you should be taking when. And then just to kind of touch on another thing that we will be offering, there's a mentoring program for Shocker Pathway students here at Wichita State, where we will pair a student who is in the pathway at WSU Tech with someone who's already transferred as part of the Shocker Pathway. So if you're interested in getting paired with a mentor, please feel free to holler at me. Again, that's another thing that the pandemic kind of pushed towards the back burner that we're hoping to put some renewed efforts in this year. So if you're interested, please holler at me or let Shelby know, and we will work on pairing you with a mentor. And then lastly, Shocker Pathway students can also take advantage of the Wichita State Career Development Center. They offer a lot of really good things like resume and cover letter support, career counseling, mock interviews, and a lot of other resources. So if you're interested in that, Shocker Pathway students can set up an appointment with them. All you need is your WSU ID number and your name, and Shelby should have that for you if you are a declared Shocker Pathway student. So if you're interested, just want more information, let us know. We'll get you connected with them. And then lastly, about a year and a half ago, we launched some social media sites. We try to push out good information on there, and we also try to do some fun giveaways. So there will be handles on the next slide, or a couple slides down the road, that you can follow us, like us, whatever else the verb is there. So please follow us on our social media sites so we can keep you connected with important announcements. Oops, 1, 2, 5. See, this is what happens when I try to click. And then lastly, we have the difference between Shocker Pathway and Shocker Experience. And I think Shelby and I probably get the same types of questions with this. So if you want to jump in sometime, Shelby, please go ahead. I'm not used to talking this much. So just a quick overview. The Shocker Experience is a way for any WSU Tech student, no matter what their major is, to opt in to specific resources and events and things at Wichita State. Separate from Shocker Pathway, a welding student can get into Shocker Experience. Anybody there can. This does have an additional cost to it. If you're interested, Alicia Newell is the contact person. And that's pretty much what I have on Shocker Experience. It's just definitely separate from pathway. Shelby, is there any questions you get a lot of regarding experience?
I think just a couple of, and I can't remember, you might have already touched on this, that this is directly through WSU. So as was mentioned, you can be enrolled in any major at WSU Tech and still sign up for Shocker Experience, but the sign up process and all of that does have to go through WSU. WSU Tech cannot get you signed up for that, but we can get you in contact with someone who can. I believe if you were to go to the WSU website and search Shocker Experience, there's also a like contact form that you can submit to have someone reach out to you about that as well. So that's available.
And I recommend contacting Alicia directly, but that website will also give you some good information about what all is in there and what the cost is going to be. Shelby, do you want to find the website and maybe stick it in the chat? I'll mess up the presentation if I try. So then our contact information, on the top there's just the handles for our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts, specifically for Shocker Pathway. And then we have Shelby's email and phone number. And then we have a Shocker Pathway email here at Wichita State, as well as our phone number here at my office. So we want to open up for the rest of our time here for questions that you might have, concerns, fun stories, maybe. Not too fun though. So if anyone has questions, if you want to stick them in the chat, or if you want to, unmute and ask questions that way, we're perfectly happy to help answer anything that we can. And just thank you guys for coming today. If you come up with questions later and you want to contact one of us, please feel free to do so. We're here, so please let us know how we can help, what questions or concerns you have. I went really fast, Britton.
You did. Excellent. We did get a question.
Okay.
It says, I was told we are about to begin enrollment for next semester the week before spring break. If so, should we just go to the WSU Tech advisors page to set up an appointment?
Yeah, so enrollment for current students will begin on March 29th. So March 29th or any date after that, we can look at enrollment. We will actually be enrolling for the entire upcoming school year if you would like to. So you'll have the option to either enroll just in your next semester or for the whole school year. But yeah, going to the advisors page and setting up an appointment is probably one of the best ways to go about that. Again, Shelby Smith, so just scroll down that page until you find me and schedule that appointment. Again, March 29th or later to be able to get enrolled. And what else? There was something else I just thought of. Oh, we also have a call-in number. So if I don't have available appointment times that work for your schedule, or if you just want to call in and speak to an advisor, we can be, an advisor can be reached by calling 316-677-9680. And I will also put that in the chat. And that's just a way you'll speak to a front desk attendant who will place you on a call list to have the next available advisor reach out to you.
Great questions. And if you think that you might be transferring to Wichita State in the summer or fall, make sure you talk to Shelby and let her know that you think you might be transferring sometime soon. That way we can get you into that transfer class. Or if you're not sure, she can help you determine when the best time to transfer would be. So definitely start thinking about that. We will start enrollment at Wichita State. I have it on my calendar. Don't have that memorized. It is, I want to say the first full week in April is when we'll start enrolling for spring summer and fall. So we're a little bit later. But if you think you might be transferring to Wichita State this summer or fall, it is super important to start that transfer process as soon as possible because our process takes a little bit longer. So definitely talk to either Shelby or myself if you think you might be transferring soon and want to check. Yeah. I know there's got to be at least one more question out there. So shameless plug while we're waiting. Usually we try to do a transfer fair once a semester. Like everything else in the world, it's gone all kinds of weird with the pandemic. So the last week of April, it's April 26th through 30th, we'll be doing a virtual transfer fair. And more information is going to come out in that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. It'll be a lot like Academic Success Week as far as the setup goes. So watch your campus email, talk to Shelby in a couple weeks. I will be sending out information about that. And we should have some pretty cool giveaways, kind of like Academic Success Week. So be on the lookout for that info too. I don't have a cute screen for it yet, but it'll come, promise.
Awesome. All right. So I have put the end of session survey in the chat. So please take a couple moments to fill that out. We ended early, so we're all going to hang out here for a bit. You just got a lot of information, so you might process and have some questions while you're filling out that survey. So we will definitely be here to answer those. If you want to unmute, feel free to do that. I'm going to put the survey link also on the screen. Give me just a sec to flip over. So there is that. So take a couple minutes to fill that out. Thank you for joining us today. We did end early, so you have a little bit of time back in your afternoon, but I hope that we see you at some Academic Success Week sessions later today and tomorrow.